want to jump over to organizational design. You know, the audience's most favorite topic here. But you know, you head up your crime victim department, right? You head up. Is it like? Tell me about the organizational design, right? You mentioned that department, that division or pod or team. Tell me how you structure this and how you're doing the organizational design of the firm with these different specializations.
Sure. So I had to have a lot of faith in, and I do have a lot of faith in my partners that are on the crime victim team with me. We have 2 teams of 3 lawyers on each team. That has increased a little bit, but it's typically 3 attorneys on each team, 3 paralegals on each team for the crime victim cases. Each team is overseen by one of my partners, and I kind of oversee the totality of all of the cases. I tried for a very long time to be as directly involved as I could, but it just wasn't as practical. Although I am involved in every single case, it's more trial strategy, big depositions, things of that nature. I've taken a less hands-on approach just out of necessity. I can't do that and develop business to bring into the firm and help run the firm at the same time. And I think I had to come to a point where I recognize I'm doing a disservice to the clients, and I have great attorneys and paralegals that work for me. I just needed to get to the point where I said, okay, it's okay to let them do it, and because they do an amazing job, and that has benefited everybody. So that's kind of like the crime victim setup. The rest of the firm, so the construction aspect it's a little different. There are 4 attorneys that work on the catastrophic construction aspect, 4 or 5, and a couple of paralegals as well, and they all just work together. They just work on their cases all together. I think, Paul may be lead on some cases, especially depending on the topic. So if it's a products case, Paul probably be the lead on that. If it's a premises case, it'll probably be Jeff. But they all work on them all together. And then our auto department / slip and fall department, that is in and of its own bubble, right? So that is, they have their own system. My partner Brian, who runs that department, I don't even ask him questions. He just checks in and says, this is what's going on with everything. And then we've also expanded into New York. So we have a New York office now with an attorney up there and a couple of folks that work up there. And the other thing that we have in terms of our setup, which is extremely helpful for us, not just from a business development standpoint, but also in being able to have this national practice, is we have great co-counsel relationships. So based on our specialties of catastrophic workplace accidents, construction accident cases, and sexual abuse, sexual assault, human trafficking, we get asked to come into a lot of different jurisdictions to handle those types of cases, or we'll get cases that are in those jurisdictions and team up with folks. And that's just been hugely beneficial, not just from a work, divvying up the work aspect and being able to handle a lot more cases because you have these, we have great co-counsel, but also from the relationship aspect in future cases. If there's a sexual abuse case or sexual assault case, a lot of times our co-counsel picking up the phone and say, hey, I know you guys didn't send this over here, but do you want to hop in and litigate this case with us? And if there's a case that they get in a jurisdiction that they don't handle, they'll look to us and say, hey, you probably have co-counsel in this area. Do you guys want to take this case and run with it? So that's been a great aspect as well. And that's something that I have worked very hard on in making sure that we have attorneys throughout the country, regardless of the type of case that comes up. We typically have attorneys or firms throughout the country in every single state that we can team up with and handle cases with. And it has to be folks that we trust completely based on the type of work that we do. But we have those folks, which has really been a blessing.